Get in the kitchen with Dr. Anna Kabecka. Are you struggling with menopausal symptoms, period problems, problems with hormones, or just plain low energy? There are ways to get around that. And my friend and colleague, Dr. Anna Kabecka, just wrote a book called Menopause. Cool name, right? Menopause. And it's all about foods and menus and recipes that help support people in menopause. Now, guys, if you're listening in, don't worry about it. If you're not a woman in menopause, you probably know somebody who is. So this is something you can share. But we decided to get together and make a recipe. Well, she's going to make it. I'm just going to watch. That's I like doing that. So she's going to make the recipe, and we're going to all watch, and we're going to get ideas on how to use recipes like this. And if there's ingredients in the recipe that you can't tolerate, no worries. We'll share with you alternatives. But the idea is to get in the kitchen and start using foods that are going to help you to stay in a mild state of ketosis, foods that are going to help you to spread your meals out, to get your blood sugar in balance, and to get your ketones in balance. And let me tell you, you might be thinking, well, what the heck does that have to do with menopause? Well, Dr. Anna will share, because she is a board certified OBGYN. She's been in practice and delivered thousands of babies, and now she doesn't deliver babies anymore. But what she does is she helps women with their hormonal problems. So she's triple board certified, functional medicine, and we're still trying to get her into this site. So give us a second before she's in. Are you almost in?
Well, it's saying an error. Okay, now it's saying join stream.
All right. So here she is. It's all this technology, this newfangled technology that we have, so that we can stream this to multiple places at the same time. So that, oh, there she is. Okay. I need to turn
that.
There you go. I just turned you on, girl.
Good. Oh my gosh. It was, there we go. Put some lights on, put my volume up here. I've got, all right.
So what's a board certified OBGYN, triple board certified doing in the kitchen?
I tell you, food is medicine. Food is medicine. How are you, my friend? It is so good to see you.
I'm really good, and I'm excited for this, because oftentimes when we do these things, I'm in the kitchen making the mess that has to be cleaned up. The advantage is I don't get to eat the food after you make it, but I'm excited to share all this with our audience. And we are live on YouTube, Facebook, couple of Facebook groups, and we're out there. So you're going to be seen by lots of people. And tell us about the recipe you're going to make. Tell us about the benefits of the recipe you're going to make, and about your book, where this recipe came from.
Okay. This is perfect. I'm gonna put this is from my book Menopause, because food is medicine, right? And we both believe we've got to cut out sugar. You and I both. I have diabetes on both sides of my family, and I was heading there myself, in my 30s. I was heading there myself. And so understanding how important food is as medicine, that really brought me into the kitchen, especially sadly, after everything else was failing. So I came up with my keto green way of doing things. And my latest book is called Menopause. And so in Menopause, I'm cooking these. Now, these beautiful are my kale and tempeh tacos. So the first thing I've got to do is add my onion, garlic, and tempeh. So I'm going to go ahead and do that while we're talking. Okay.
Okay. And tell us, as you're doing that, why you chose certain ingredients. And if people say, I can't eat kale, it's got too many oxalates, what can I do instead? Or somebody says, I can't eat soy, even though it's fermented, because I have a bad allergy to it, or whatever, that, we can help people try to accomplish a similar thing.
Absolutely. I'll do some substitutions. And I'm using an all-purpose cooking oil. This is it's a cultured oil from 0 Acre. So it's like an MCT oil that is cultured. And so it's very clean for the environment and clean for us. And I knew I wanted to cook as clean with you as possible.
Absolutely. And the, MCT versus a seed oil, like go to the store and get Wesson oil when you think of an all-purpose oil, that stuff's bad because that's inflammatory. So
Right.
MCT tends to be anti-inflammatory, tends to be healing for the gut, healing for the brain, and it helps us with this, what we're trying to accomplish here, which is lower the sugar insulin stuff and raise up ketones so that we have an alternative fat to burn.
Yeah, and you can cook at high temps with it. So I just added some red onions that I cut up, and now I have a bunch of garlic. Okay, so guys, I'm cooking with more garlic than in my recipe. I'm actually making a triple recipe because we like leftovers in my family.
Oh, yay.
So a lot of garlic. So
I'm gonna drive up and see you to come eat the leftovers.
you have got to come to Dallas, my friend. You have got to come to Dallas. So, and now I'm adding the tempeh. So I just have some non-GMO organic tempeh that I've cubed up. And so the recipe itself calls for 4 ounces, but I have how many ounces? 12 ounces in here. So triple recipe. So I'm going to cook this. I'm going to let these, and I like my like if I'm cooking tempeh, I like it to be really crispy and, and just, I like to cook it up a little bit. So I will cook that well. And then my recipe calls also for onion, garlic, and tempeh. That's everything for right now. And then that's going to cook for about 3 minutes. And then I'll add salt, pepper, cumin, and some peppers in here, which I already put in this little container. I've already mixed my salt and my pepper and everything here. So I'll show you while I'm doing this, I'll show you a little bit, my little display here that I got set up. So my kitchen, so we've got a lot going on here in the kitchen, cooking the food on the stove, looking good. And so food is absolutely medicine. And one of the things that I learned is the importance of adding, of course, herbs and spices, the alkalinizers, the antioxidants that are in our food, like to add to our food to increase the nutritional benefit and digestive health. So you could add even some additional fermented foods too, which are beautiful to add as a side dish, like kimchi or sauerkraut to this dish. And a few of the other ingredients that I'll be serving it with. So I'm going to stir that up. And then I have kale to cook in. And so in place of kale, you can use Swiss chard, which is so beautiful to cook up. You can use beet greens. And, and you can also skip the kale altogether if you have issues with digesting. But you can also put in cabbage. Cabbage usually, that's another good one. You could cook with the cabbage, but we're going to serve these tacos from Menopause in cabbage bowls. So I'm not using any tortilla or tortilla type of food. So there are many good options, but I'm using cabbage.
Why are you avoiding the tortillas, for those who don't know?
For carbs, definitely for carbs. And also like there's ones that are lower carb, like the how do you say it? Cassava.
But they raise my blood sugar. So
and that's something. And plus, cabbage is really good. So serving it in cabbage is good for breast health, right? It's good for, and we're a house full of women. And one of my daughter, Amanda, is breastfeeding. So breast health is really important. It's important as we get older and our hormones kind of shift out of balance. So supporting estrogen detoxification becomes really important. So a tortilla or cassava is not going to add a lot of nutritional benefit per se, but it's nice. You could also use a sushi roll, like the
nori.
Nori, thank you. And you can make it into like a nori sushi taco kind of thing. But
you know what else is good? Coconut wraps.
I haven't tried those yet.
Oh, it's just coconut.
I've heard that, but I haven't tried it yet. Are they delicious?
Yum. They're delicious. Yes.
Good. Let me put this up here so I can see that.
And you can make your own wraps. We teach people how to make, like, to dehydrate and use like chia seeds and flax seeds and nuts and seeds and veggies and make their own. In fact, I make yogurt wraps. I take like a homemade non-dairy yogurt or a jar of, what's the name of that stuff? Cocoa, and I put it in the dehydrator and I dehydrate them into rounds, and then you can use those as well. So there's a lot of options.
Sounds amazing. That sounds delicious.
Yeah.
That will be really good. All right, so I'm going to cook this, and Yeah, let me cook it for another couple minutes to make it crispy while we chat.
Yeah, yeah. So tell us a little bit about how this keto green type of eating, and what does keto green 16 actually mean, and how does it help people, women with their hormones?
Yeah, so keto green came about again through my own journey. And, having really understood functional medicine from early, understanding functional medicine and how important it is for hormone detoxification, that was a big part of it, Rita Marie, as you know. But the other part was that when I hit 48, everything stalled. And in fact, I started gaining weight back quite rapidly, and I'd been well over 240 pounds at one point, a tremendous amount of hair loss, and all of the symptoms, right? All of the perimenopausal symptoms, the mood swings, the night sweats, the brain fog. Almost
Right.
forgot what I was going to say.
The brain fog.
Brain fog. So all of those things started happening again. And that's what I really restricted carbs, but I didn't feel good just doing that. Going ketogenic. And so, because I was, I'm like, I can't gain any weight. I was going to go strict keto. And I knew about ketogenic diets because my oldest daughter has a history of seizure disorder. So keto is good for seizure disorders. I mean, it reduces the frequency and can eliminate them altogether. So, but I didn't feel good, Rita Marie. And so I was like, I checked my urine pH, what I tell all my clients to do. I have keto urine pH test strips, and you can check for urine and pH and ketones. And I was as acidic as the pH paper read. So as you know, that is not an environment. Acidity is an environment for inflammation and disease. Alkalinity, and that's urine pH, and at a cellular level, keeping our physiology as balanced as possible, it makes a huge difference in our health. And so I started adding the alkalinizers back, but low carb, right? Because I didn't want to gain any weight. And then with science, the cruciferous vegetables, the dark leafy greens, the sprouts, and I'm bringing some sprouts in too because they're so pretty and delicious, but really nutritious, right? Elevated in, so broccoli sprouts are really rich in DIM, and so that is something that really helps with estrogen conjugation and detoxification.
Right.
So that's
Awesome.
been part of it.
Awesome. And then, so as you did it yourself, it helped you. But what have you found with your patients, your clients?
So then that's just back in 2014, 2015. And then I was like, oh my gosh, let me bring my most difficult patients together and put them through this plan that I created that just worked amazing. Not only did I lose the weight, but like my brain was sharper. I felt the peace that surpassed all understanding. Like there was chaos in my life at that time, as you very well know, so you've been my friend for a long time, but there was chaos in my life. But then I had this peace, and I was like, I would say the ocean, not the waves, right? The eye of the storm. And that was really transformative. So I wanted my most difficult patients. I'm like, I know what I can do to help you, and let's test this. And they did, and they all did amazing. And then I took it online into my Magic Menopause program, and then wrote my first book published in 2019, The Hormone Fix. And from there have kept refining and creating additional plans and recipes. And then I got to Menopause, where I put together 5 different types of plans that are each 6 days long with these amazing recipes and the plans in place to break through a plateau, to shift your physiology, to give you that energy. And that's what I've seen overall is in this perimenopausal, menopausal state, we have to adjust our lifestyle, our mindset, our sleep habits, the food we eat, the timing of the food we eat, and create really healthy relationships for an energetic, passionate quality of life. So, and because of I lost my mom at a really young age. My firstborn daughter was only a year old at that time. And I promised I wouldn't let that happen to me I wouldn't let another woman suffer that way. Right. And lo and behold, it's not through my prescription pad and surgical procedures. There's a small benefit there, but it really is with food and lifestyle changes.
Right.
So that's how books came about and these plans. And
when you talk about the 6 different plans, it gets me to think about how important it is for women not to just stay on the same cycles, et cetera, is to have some variation, right? Because we do plateau. Ooh, sizzle.
Can you still hear me while I'm sizzling here?
Yeah, what did you put in there?
Okay, so this is vegetable broth. So
Okay.
putting in some vegetable broth. So that'll add a nice like a nice sauce to it. I put a cup in. I sometimes like it a little bit more because I cook a little bit higher. Let me turn down the heat a little bit. But I do want to cook off this sauce. And now I'm going to add my spices. So the spices I have are black pepper, ground cumin, chili powder, paprika, cayenne. Okay, I'm going to give you a secret in my kitchen. We love spices, and there are certain spices I use a lot of. I just emptied a couple of these. With this, I got a refill. But I like to keep it in here because it's so easy to then add a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that, when you're cooking. So I like one of these.
Nice. Where do you get something like that? That's so cool.
An Indian food store online. There, it's just great. And if you love it,
that's a great idea.
And you can put your salt in here, your black pepper, and things that you use.
Whatever things you use a lot. My kelp powder, my nettles powder that I like to sprinkle into pretty much everything.
Oh my gosh, that's a good idea too. I haven't used nettles powder. So, and this has in it, has some cayenne pepper, has allspice, has some rosemary. I mean, it's just like.
So whatever you use a lot of, you put
whatever you use a lot of.
Yeah, see, yeah, great.
Yeah, so but I like to do this sometimes when I'm doing a show.
Right, just mix them all together and then sprinkle it on. Yeah.
Yep. Sprinkle it on. And then sometimes because the pepper can be, everyone has a little bit of a different palate. So watching how much you're doing and taste, and I didn't put it all in, but taste as you go. So that, because the hot pepper and everything is great for digestion, great for health, but can be hard for some of the family members.
Some folks, right? And folks that have a sensitivity to like nightshades, for example, they can just leave out the cayenne or paprika or whatever is in that family.
Exactly. Leave out anything that make a healthy substitution.
Yeah. If you like rosemary, put more rosemary in. If you like cumin's not like nightshade, I don't think. But anyway, your own sensitivities and you can adjust it.
Yeah. And in talking about those food sensitivities, my first plan in Menopause is called Keto Green Extreme, and that is AIP approved, so autoimmune protocol. No nightshades in those recipes. So I'm just letting this seasoning cook in just a little bit, and then I'm going to add my kale, which will go down. So yeah. And it just starts to look so pretty too,
Yeah. Bok choy is another option because I know some of the ones you mentioned are higher oxalate for folks who are not doing oxalates, but bok choy is low. And there's plenty of other greens, and just find what works for your.
Oh yeah, name some other ones, Rita Marie. I get stuck on the ones. I get stuck.
Oh, well, arugula for sure. Arugula, bok choy. I know that the beet greens and spinach and chard, which I love because we have it growing in our yard, but I don't overdo it. Those are all high oxalate. But yeah, arugula, beet, bok choy, mizuna. I mean, there's all kinds of them. There's all kinds of them. If you actually pick up the boxes of power greens, look to see what's in there that are not on your no list, and then just see if you can find those separately. There are like hundreds, dozens of things we just don't eat on a regular basis. We get so in our rut of whatever's at the local grocery store, but there's so many great greens.
So many good options. Something I pulled out of the kitchen too is some turmeric root. So it's beautiful to add some turmeric root, and I had to cook this up because it was going bad. So I cut off part of it, and I'm going to add this too because that's so good for you.
You just chop it off like that? You don't grind it? I have this really cool microplaner, and I take ginger and turmeric and I run it along, and I love it. It's so good.
That's smart. Yeah. No, I don't have that in my kitchen, my new kitchen yet. So so it's cooking that up. And so the kale's going to cook. I just put the this because I don't have a cover for this one. And with the broth will thicken, and let's see, can add more salt if needed. And then you're going to scoop this out and serve it in your cabbage leaves. And I'll show you that in a little bit. So,
That cabbage leaf idea, my husband got into this. Like you can do it with lettuce leaves, like romaine, the hearts of romaine work, but they were out of the Napa cabbage, which he really liked to do it with, and he bought the romaine. He was disappointed. So now he's almost every night putting something, a taco of some sort for me in the cabbage leaf, and it's so fun. We put salad in there. He made some hummus, baba ganoush,
oh, that's my
eggplant.
favorite with
Baba
eggplant.
ganoush with eggplant, tahini, but then he likes to change it up. So he added some zucchini to it. And there was something else, like sometimes he'll add arugula to it. And then, of course, the typical garlic. Delicious, just totally delicious. And then you serve it in the leaf and you put sprouts on it and just make it look pretty.
Yep, exactly. And so I have some for topping it. I have some radishes, which are good for digestion. And they're just so beautiful. So when I make the leaf, I'll put what we've stir fried here and add some radishes, add some sprouts, add some cilantro, and I had a little bit of celery too. So thinking alkalinizers, low carbohydrate, easy to digest, digestive aids, hormone balancing.
Right.
That's key. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what's going to help you keep it good, right? So tempeh, what other things if somebody can eat tempeh, because my husband, I couldn't serve, take tempeh. Yeah. I couldn't eat tempeh because my husband's deathly allergic to soy. Like his throat will close up and he'll be sick and I'll have to rush him to the ER. So what could we use instead of tempeh?
Well, you can use, if you're eating legumes, you can use chickpeas. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not vegetarian, vegan, you can use chicken. Mm-hmm. You can use anything you would normally stir fry, scallop, shrimp. I mean, those are perfect. What are some other good vegan substitutes, Rita Marie?
So I'm thinking in terms of the shape, and the size, you could chop up some rutabagas or turnips into those little pieces. Jicama even. I've not really cooked with jicama much, but it would be a light stir fry with the greens. That could probably be really good.
Good. And jicama is so good for salads, like just marinated in some vinegar and eating it like that. For more protein, for more vegan protein sources, I would look at like you can do black soybeans. That's low carbohydrate, a good vegan protein as well. So that's another
lentils, and you can actually make lentils and then make them into like a burger and cut them. But then nuts and seeds, I wouldn't heat them. I would just add it clean afterwards. But I make burgers, like nut veggie burgers that are made with like various nuts and seeds plus various vegetables and seasonings, and you can make them into a kind of a rectangle instead of a burger, and then cut them into pieces. But I wouldn't cook them because the fats are more sensitive. But you could do that, and then you can saute up your greens and your seasonings, and then you just basically could add that at the very end just to mix it in. So that's another good option.
You could do also with cashews. If you're not avoiding nuts, you can do you could use cashews to stir fry with. That's a beautiful option as well. And
there is a hemp tempeh
with chickpeas. I do.
Yeah, there is a hemp tempeh that I've seen that they make out of hemp seeds, and hemp seeds are very high in protein and very good in omega-3s.
From Facebook, we're getting mushrooms. Yeah, mushrooms are a good option too.
Yeah, mushrooms are a great option. Yes.
If you're not avoiding nightshades.
Well, mushrooms are not nightshades, but people sometimes are avoiding mushrooms because of their, they think there's a problem with their candida, which is a misnomer, but we don't go there. But, shiitakes are awesome, and maitakes and lion's mane would be really good.
Oh my gosh.
Really good.
Okay, I'm going to show you this. I'm going to bring my camera over here, but we can keep talking. I hope I don't make your audience dizzy, Rita Marie.
We'll get dizzy, but that's okay.
So,
it'll be worth it.
Into my frying pan. So I'm
there
also
we go.
with cast iron because I love cast iron, and it's a really all-purpose pan. And so just stir frying this up here. I'm just stirring this up here so that even the kale, you saw how much I put in and how much
how much it shrinks.
I know. It's like, okay. And it's just, and I've got the sauce, really, the sauce really simmer down. So it's really nice. You can simmer it down more, but this is fine.
Yeah, it's beautiful. For those of you who like to eat all raw or mostly raw, which I actually do most of the time because I don't like eating heated food in the summer because it makes me hot. But you could do what I mentioned earlier with like those making veggie burgers and chopping them up, or mushrooms, chopping them up, and then marinate. Like I call it cold saute greens. You put some salt, lemon juice, and massage it down to get that consistency, and then stir it all together. So there's a lot of options. It's
Oh my
beautiful.
gosh. I will tell you that one of my favorite salad dressings is a Middle Eastern salad dressing, and it's lemon, salt. Sorry about this, guys. Lemon, salt, olive oil, and garlic. So you mash the garlic and the salt in your. Hi guys, sorry about
The press.
showing you my cleavage. All right, so you can mash like in a mortar with a mortar and pestle. Put
Yeah,
salt in, add garlic, mash that in. That really helps
beautiful.
the garlic mash down. And then add olive oil and lemon juice, stir that up. And you can, like you said, cold saute anything. And it's great
Anything.
for so good. It's so yummy.
Yeah,
Okay.
awesome.
So
Yeah, we
with the
get to see
cabbage
it
leaves, it's
together.
nice if you steam it ahead of time to make it softer. But you
Softer.
can eat it exactly like you said. Just eat it
Yeah,
um,
right.
completely, yeah, raw. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll make one up while we're talking.
Okay, let's see. Let's see it. We have a bit of time. We have about 10, 15 minutes left. So anybody has questions, put them in the comment field. I can actually see the comments of wherever you're writing from, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook or in a group, I can see it. So it all comes through. I don't necessarily get your name. It just says where you're from, but
Where you're listening in from. This is
where
a
you're
cool.
listening in from. Yeah.
Yeah. So just putting in, you can use smaller ones. I just grabbed some big ones earlier and just steamed
Yeah.
them up. And you can eat it like this. Of course, you can eat it without the cabbage leaf too. And then add some sprouts.
And on the plate was the cabbage leaves,
Yep.
Latrice. Yep.
Cabbage leaves. Yep.
And I
And
did see your name, so it's not just Facebook user. Great. So I saw somebody's name.
oh yeah, the cabbage leaf is on the plate. And you can add some more raw onions if you want. I like to do that sometimes. And put in some of the beautiful radishes and top it with cilantro. And there are some vegan cheeses you could add. I love adding sriracha aioli type. We like hot food. We like it spicy here.
I
So
love it hot. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, there's the what's the name of that one? That is Kite Hill is a good one. Kite Hill cheese.
oh yeah. And then add some lime. You can squirt some lime on here, which is really nice. That really does take the bitterness out of the greens and also adds a burst of flavor. So when you're cooking, think healthy fats, high quality protein, and then your alkalinizers and your salts. So fat, salt, and acid makes a burst of flavor.
Right.
So you want food that tastes amazing. And I didn't, I'll also add in a slice of avocado. I'm going to grab my avocado.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
So yeah, so you can add all of those beautiful things in and just make such
Sky's the limit, really. I mean, this is a real good base, and it's a very balanced combination. But this kind of idea, making tacos from what do you have around? The protein is tempeh.
Yep. I used non-GMO for
Yeah.
tempeh. So
And the beauty of tempeh over tofu, Latrice asked about tofu. The beauty of tempeh over tofu is it's fermented. And when you ferment soy, you just make it, you ferment anything, you really make it more bioavailable, and the nutrients are more available. Plus, you get all the good critters for your gut, which is
yeah.
important, especially in menopause, right? We need to have a good microbiome, and we want to support that. I could see putting like some cabbage, some kimchi or sauerkraut on top of that.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Actually, I'm trying out a kimchi paste. I was going to saute with the food or put on the base of the cabbage to add that salty fermented flavor too.
Yeah.
So you can definitely do that as well. And you can add more oil, drizzle with oil. Remember, fat, salt, and citrus to get that burst of flavor.
First.
And when we're using salt, I'm using a Himalayan sea salt. That's great.
There's even a kimchi salt. I forget the name of the company, but do a Google search on it. And they actually put kimchi in the salt. Oh, it's beautiful.
Isn't it beautiful? It's so
Now
good.
I'm hungry.
Oh, and then you can wrap it up like a, like a taco or
Burrito or taco,
You
yeah.
can roll it and then eat it messy, which is nice.
Well, yeah, we gotta get into our food and make it messy. I agree.
And I'm going to drizzle some olive oil because I definitely love the benefits of oleic acid, but I love extra flavor, extra fats, and good olive oil. So
Awesome. Wow, thank you.
You're
Latrice,
welcome.
I'm
I'm
not
very
a soy
hungry.
fan and I'm gluten-free. What would be a good alternative? Well, we just discussed some of those. You could make, if you've ever made a veggie burger, you can actually make one of those. Just go on my website, drmarie.com, and you'll find some on the blog, various veggie burger type things. And instead of making it into a burger shape, just press it out into a rectangle and cut it into those pieces. And then you can put that in there. I wouldn't recommend cooking it like that was cooked like that. You can throw it in at the end of the sauteing. Yep. And if you missed that, you can go back. We did talk about alternatives. We might have come in a little bit late. Yeah.
Yep.
Facebook user.
And everything is gluten free. Everything is gluten free, dairy free, and all my recipes. So, someone asked, "What do you have a Evo brand that I prefer?" So, extra virgin olive oil. I am very spoiled when it comes to olive oil because my family in the Middle East have olive groves where we get that liquid gold at first cold press, but I only get 1 liter every couple years. So in between, I definitely have used the olive oil club from the Olive Hunters olive oil club. I've used that, but I'll show you what I'm using right now. So this is one I get from the Middle East store, and it's like, we go through some olive oil.
Wow,
So
it's really green.
It's really green, and you see, it's got some, and it also no matter how your olive oil looks, taste it. The olive oil should taste like it should cause a cough, and it should taste good, never rancid. And that's a good olive oil. It's a 2-cup olive oil. But it's really good. That kind of natural peppery flavor from the olive oil. It's very good. It's very fresh. And so don't be, I like it, to look like this color too, like a little bit green.
Yeah, it should. And, right. That means it's not refined.
Right.
Right. Awesome. Awesome. Well, we've been having a nice food demo here with Dr. Annika Becka, and she's the author of Menopause, and she just made us a wonderful recipe from her book Menopause. So we'll put the link in the chat, and Dr. Anna can put links in the chat as to how you can get the book. Amazon. Just go to Amazon and get the book, and visit her at what's your Quebec Health? Is that it?
DrAnna.com. DrAnna.com.
It's easy. DrAnna.com. DrAnna.com. And you can check out all the other great.
And at the Girlfriend Doctor on Facebook, and at the Girlfriend Doctor on Instagram. Yeah. Great. And so play with, again, when we're cooking, especially before, during, and after menopause, we think, okay, how do we support our hormones? How do we support our gut microbiome, which is, arguably more important than our genetics, right? Yeah. And it is something that is constantly killed off with, antibiotics, unassuming antibiotics from maybe those corn tortillas, or maybe from the food we're eating out, the fish or the chicken or whatever else we're eating that has been sprayed or treated or,
Yeah. Yeah, super important to eat clean, and this is going to affect your hormones and the blood sugar. You didn't mention the blood sugar, but the blood sugar is critical for healthy menopause, and for keeping your blood sugar balanced is going to help support you through this transition. So,
absolutely.
Thank you so much for being here.
Oh my gosh, so much fun, Rita Marie. Thank you, everyone. Bon appetit. Bon appetit.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
And this has been Dr. Annika Becca. I'm Dr. Rita Marie Loscalzo. Join us. We love to support you in helping you to get your health back, get your energy back, get your hormones balanced. So bye for now.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, so I have to stop it. Keep smiling. There we go.
Like, okay, we're still going. And
As we figure out how to shut it off.
as we
Okay.
figure out how to put down. And Lynn had said purple cabbage leaves. Absolutely.
Oh,
Actually,
purple cabbage leaves are beautiful. Yeah.
I love it. I love
Yeah,
it.
think about anything that you can use that's not, that's, a veggie based.